All right, listen, welcome to the podcast. Please, if you would, hit the like button. Go ahead and share this out. Got a lot to get into this evening. I got you on the 10 minutes. Shout out to my man Najee for coming through with that beat for the boy. A lot to talk about. Get on up in here, get on up in here, get on up in here, get on up in here. And listen, tomorrow, Williamsburg County job fair. Williamsburg County job fair. Tomorrow, make sure you get on out there if you are unemployed or if you're looking to change your career. Featured positions: Sheriff's Office, Detention Center, Cummings Manufacturing. Cummins, I said Cummings like it's a G on the end of that, which is not. The transit system, bus drivers, and I guess bus driving mechanics and all kinds of stuff like that. EMS, Forestry Commission. For all you Clemson graduates looking for something to do right here in Williamsburg County. McLeod Health, Newbold Services, and plenty more. Join them tomorrow morning at 9 p.m. Make sure you sharpen that resume up right now. 9 a.m. to 1 p.m., okay? Don't show up at 12 o'clock. All the good jobs will be taken by then. The early bird gets the worm, so all of you early birds, get out there, okay? Don't be missing from this process. Again, this is Real Talk Tuesday. We got a lot to talk about tonight. Let me get this on the screen here. Mayor be on in a little bit. Last night they had a town hall that nobody. I said nobody. That's not the right way to say it. Not a lot of people showed up to the town hall. Not a lot of people showed up to the town hall meeting. Now, if there was some kind of drama where you had to pay a water bill or something like that, the building would be filled. But given the magic of modern technology, I was able to stream that earlier today, and I'll stream it again, the town hall meeting. For those who missed it, for those who couldn't be there, or for those who just chose not to be there and just figured that I would have it here on Welcome to Andrews, the podcast, where you are right in that regard. Sir or ma'am, ma'am or sir. Also, very important after school program, Andrews Elementary. Register now. You know, school's going to be starting in a couple of days. Okay. You know, you did nothing all summer with that child. So at least get the child in the after school program to make up for. Let me stop with that. Anyway, Tylen's Health, Georgetown Family YMCA after school program at Andrews Elementary. Register now, begins in August. Okay, so you got one more day and it's beginning. Get your child in there. Give your child an advantage. Please, 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 please. Okay. What else kind of business we need to get out of the way? Listen, you need to make sure you go and register and vote. I see a lot of people online talking a lot of Jews-ny, but are you registered to vote actually? Okay. Don't be one of those people, all right? Doing all that talking and you just capping. All right? Make sure you are registered to vote so that you can cast your vote in this coming election. A lot of important things are happening on the local level, okay? On the local level, let's keep our focus where it should be. Because a lot of people didn't show up last night to the town hall meeting. Yet again, man, that's why we got Real Talk Tuesday with the mayor. So, you know, you can come on here and get that information. All right. What else do we missing? I'm going to get into the story of, I've seen this in Georgetown Times. This gentleman right here was arrested last night, a couple nights ago in Sanford. And the story brings to it puts front and center the racial differences, the way people view crime, the way the story is written. Um, you can go on Gab and look at the way the story is written about this man right here, Mr. Earl Clinton Grant. All right, it's older man, 61 years old. He was arrested, um, and he was charged with attempted murder of three police officers, four police officers. I am very interested in seeing the dash cam footage and the body cam footage, because the way that the report was written, it's not questioning the officers, but you know what I am questioning is the approach, because it's as if they've said that they saw the man, he was there smoking crack, and somebody called and said that he was having some kind of episode or whatever. They approached him at his house, and and an event occurred. Now, they say crack cocaine, and crack cocaine carries its own stigma with it, right? We all know it. We all been living with it for a long time. We've all been hearing about it for a long time. Um, if you've been following me for any time now, you know that I've been on this fentanyl thing in Georgetown County, and I've been addressing fentanyl as a crisis, as a problem, and it's just, I don't know if it's because he's black or if it's because it's crack, and I wasn't trying to rhyme that there, but that's how it came out. Um, in the way that this story is being portrayed, because the man got a call for a wellness check saying that he was not in his right mental state. So um, at that point right there, that should have changed the whole complexion of that interaction. But it ended up being where a couple officers couldn't handle a 61-year-old man, and somehow he got away from them and got in his truck, and then allegedly tried to run them over. And again, I wasn't there. I'm only listening to the reports, but I'm more interested in the way that it's being ignored that he was dealing with some type of a crisis. You know what I mean? Because again, when we talk about fentanyl, they want to talk about how it's a sickness and how it's but if it's crack, you're a dope fiend, you're a crackhead. And so it's it's gonna be interesting to see how that situation played out. You know what I mean? Like I said, he's been charged with he's been charged with attempted murder. Whether that's the right charge, again, I am not law enforcement. I just think that is interesting. Again, I'm more interested in. Let me get this right here. Let's do. This probably sounds a lot better than what I just sounded like for the last couple minutes. Let's see if I improve the quality of the sound. All right, cool beans. Now we're on point. Anyway, Real Talk Tuesday, and here's my partner in, dare I say, not crime, because we're not involved in crime.
No.
At all. Even though they've tried to make us criminals now. I ain't even gonna front now.
Yeah, that would never happen.
Nah. Anyway, man, good evening. How are you? Welcome to the Tuesday night in
Rendezvous.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good to be here. How's it going?
It's going, man. I'm long week. You know what I mean? Had some interesting cases that I dealt with this week. So yeah, it's been a good a profitable week. How you like the new backdrop right there coming through? Andrew sliding in through the. Did you get a chance to check that out?
Yeah, I did. That's a great shot. That's great.
I don't know
drone work.
Hey.
We always appreciate the love you show to the town, and so that's good stuff right there. I'm thinking about getting me one, but it would probably take me forever.
It won't. I promise you.
How to operate it.
I promise you, it won't. It won't.
I mean, it won't. It's actually, and that you mentioned that it was a question that was brought up. They're doing the hearing up in Congress there, when they were blasting the acting Secret Service director for that epic failure of security during the former president's campaign rally. And so the drone came up. They were asking the use of it and who, was it denied? Because allegedly it was offered by the local police department to use it, and allegedly it was denied. And of course, those things are absolutely necessary when in today's age, when you're trying to, as a part of the surveillance and security plan. And so allegedly that was denied. So he got beat up pretty bad about that.
Yeah. And I tell you, man, they've been throwing the local boys under the bus. And that I'm not comfortable with what's going on, man, at all. And then, like I said, they've been throwing these local guys under the bus.
But that's part for the course. I mean, you look at wherever you are in that ranking order of that, in this term, and in this case, it's the government is the small entity is always going to catch the short end of the stick. But at the end of the day, it is the Secret Service responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you have this awesome responsibility for security of person of this magnitude, then you should have someone watching the other agencies who are not trained and equipped like the Secret Service is. Someone should be along with. That's how you partner up. So it should be that ground liaison with that, whoever the senior person from that police department, and they're beside each other either physically or by some form of communication, so they can know where both of their security forces are. So he can blame those guys, but it's not going to stick.
Yeah, it's
not how it works.
Yeah. So town hall, man, how did that go?
I think it was good. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was able to broadcast it. I haven't had a chance to sit down and actually watch yet.
Yeah.
How was the turnout?
Folks who showed up, it was a we got an opportunity, and we want to be able to do this either biannually or every once a year, so we can have a forum where people can just come out and talk and not be restricted by the things that the protocol of a town council meeting. There we report out what's going on, and it's pretty quick, so you don't get a whole lot of interaction with the citizens. And so for the community forum, it is an opportunity for us to have an exchange of thoughts and concerns, or just acknowledging what's going on. But the turnout again wasn't great. But for those that were there, hopefully they will be able to go back and share, because, and I've said this before in the podcast, what we learned through the last election, there's it's a communication gap. Whether we're not using multiple platforms, or people just not listening, or you're just going by, what your friends or somebody on Facebook said. We heard that, and then we've opened up this thing now where we now have the website, official website. You have the ability to download the app on your phone to keep up with what's going on. But again, those are just snapshots or sound bites of what's going on. So we also have, creating this comprehensive plan, all things that communicate what's going on with the town to get at this thing everybody likes to throw around, of transparency. And unfortunately, we didn't have a great turnout. But talked about a lot of things that you would see and hear that's going on around town, and we try to address those things, like the trucks and access in and out of town. Those things were an opportunity to kind of answer any question, but just didn't have the turnout.
Yeah, I don't know, and that's the challenge. That's the challenge. I was of course, I stay in Facebook streets, and I ran across this young lady who was going live today, and apparently she's been going live for the last couple of days, and there was literally like 200 people watching it at one time in a live, and it speaks to. So if that meeting, I remember the last one you guys did, it was maybe that one or right before, with the water bill, and it was almost standing room only in that place. And then after a bunch of them got the official understanding, it started thinning out, and I don't know.
It's a problem countrywide. We only get excited when there's some controversial stuff going on, and we come there just or something that it's just, that's not how you grow and bond and unite as a community. It is staying engaged. The few that were there last night were some of the same faithfuls that travel, not just at the town council meeting, but those guys will go to county council, wherever it is that's going to affect the town of Andrews. You will see this select group of people. And I will also say this. Now, one gentleman that comes to, I think he's been to every town hall meeting. What's his name? Mr. Sambo Harper. So he's always there in the same seat. I joked with him about it last night. But that's probably his thing. He don't come to the meetings, but he will be at the town hall and the town hall meetings. The community forum, and definitely engage. And he was engaged.
Even that, he's engaged enough to get that word, because you will hear people. I didn't hear about it. I don't know about it. But somebody like Mr. Sambo, retired, retired teacher. And like you say, he's not at every town hall meeting, but you're right, at the town hall meetings.
Mm-hmm.
Community forums. Community forums.
Mm-hmm.
He's there.
He's there, and engage and asking questions and offering up a couple of comments which are meaningful. Again, when you get someone that's been around as long as he has, Mr. Bobby Mays and other gentlemen, Mr. Jerome Johnson and Mr. Sam Marsh, all these guys for the most part are in their 80s. And is more informed than anybody I've met recently around the town, but because they're there. And so now we have these other platforms. You're just not going to get it if you're not constantly engaged, and engage, with an open mind to understand what's happening and some of the details behind the decisions that are made. So you'll see the results and you wouldn't understand it because you're not engaged along the way. And so it's that, but we got to keep moving forward, and we are, and things are happening, throughout the town. But we had a good discussion with the folks that were there, and we gave them some material, to walk away with, to help them better understand. Because one of the things we talked about, it was critical, is that, this election where it's coming up in November, everybody's focused on at the federal level, or for president, who what's happening there, but not enough on the local county level and with this referendum, and understanding that. And so we talked a little bit about that. Talked about where we are in this process, 2024, and what happened in 2014, and the difference. There are difference in terms of the work that went in to come to the results of where they are right now.
And
But
the referendum you're talking about is this new 1 cent penny sales tax that they wanting to pull on the ballot.
that's correct. So the penny sales tax and the local option sales tax.
Okay.
And so
the loss tax.
the loss tax. So the administrators talked to that point, which again, there's some details people understand. And in theoretic, or not theoretically, just overall, we support those things, but we have to pay attention to the details. Will the truth change, once this thing is passed? Is what we, what we really want to pay attention to those laws or that ordinance that's going to go in place. There's referendum, the details behind it. Will these projects or the monies allocated for it, will it change? Will the priority change? Right now, the Andrews had submitted for 4, 2 are in the top 10, 4 and 5. And see, that has already changed because the initial notification that it was 3 and 4.
Well,
Now,
I thought initially, now if I remember correctly, the council wasn't supposed to be involved in ranking these things, or am I?
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, so there was, again, the commission, had the awesome responsibility to, go out, put out the information, get it, rack and stack it, develop the referendum, and then take it to council to be voted on. Now, I think realistically, we know that they will have some input when they review this thing, and they may send them back and said, okay, we need to see this in there. That's their responsibility. Now, what that is, I'm not sure because I haven't read that yet. But that referendum was passed on the 23rd, I believe. So it's for us to go back and read this thing, to include myself.
Mm-hmm.
But something along that, from the initial notification that here's how these 22 projects are prioritized has changed, at least by 1 in each of our projects. So we went from number 3 and 4 to 4 and 5. Now then the third one I think is it 12? I think it may be 12. And then there's the first 22 in the that will cover the anticipated 80 million, 100 million they're going to collect. All those fall into that category. And then and then the rest of them are ranked in the second category in the contingency priority, which means that every penny is allocated to a project. And you have the primary list and you have the contingency list. We have 1 in the contingency list.
And what was the level? The level of detail that you have to submit with the project? Did you guys have to hire an engineer? Did you have to submit estimates?
Yeah, for us, we exercise a very detailed process to select these things because first we want it to be competitive with all the others, and I think they ended up with over 100 projects. So first, be realistic what you can get, know where you are, know what the priorities, what other people see. So it's a lot of thought that went into this thing. And so then, as a part of that, to your question, it was very detailed. You had to lay it out how it's, is there an additional funding? How are you going to sustain it? Because again, these are not sustaining dollars. These monies are not to maintain whatever this project is. It is just to purchase it. So they needed to know, as a part of the evaluation process, is where's the funds coming from to sustain this thing? So why would they invest, for example, the dredging? See, dredging, we know over time this thing is going to fill back in,
mm-hmm.
and that
sustainability,
which is what they're dealing with now. So since 2014, the dredging project in Murrells Inlet has now had to be dredged at least once, and I don't know where those funds come from. I'm going to go back. I know it was a part of the conversation early on in this process, but that was a part of the process and the engineering part of that. So we do, in the municipality, we have a professional engineers that's contracted out. but
So
we didn't have to leverage them as much. So if there's another, rural area that don't have that, that would, that pose a challenge for them to get their project, to the point where it's going to compete.
and so and like and the question of sustainability, like so in submitting that, you had to submit to them people, like you had to tell them, I was gonna send them people, you had to a part of that submission package had to be, okay, once we get this proposed money, if we get this proposed money, then here's how we're gonna do this moving forward past that. Here's how we're going to keep it going. Here's how,
Yes.
Okay. I got
Yeah. And for us, we have a budget. So of course, if the things we ask for, we know that we can sustain those things,
Okay. You can absorb it into,
we can absorb.
Okay.
But if it's a rural area and you don't have a governing body other than a rep, a county rep, then county has to build that into their sustainment program.
And do you, I don't know if you know this or not, but did the level of detail determine where your project ranked?
Yes, that was a part of the scoring criteria.
Okay. And
so if you didn't have the details they asked for, and it was pretty robust, you could have fall out of the ranking or fall very, very low in the priorities, because again, it's not that commission's job to do that level of work, but it's their requirement to know that that this thing has ability to pass and be sustained and not waste taxpayers' dollars on something that hasn't been thought through.
And that's where the lines got blurred during the campaign season, down in the Sanford area. Where people will be this is what I meant by they were being fed false hopes, because I knew from just tracking the whole process that was going to be a determining factor, the level of detail that you could submit to them on this project, as far as where it gets ranked at.
Yeah, because again, when you're a rural area and don't have a governing body, so then the thing is, you can get it on the list, which I think it is at $12 million.
Mm-hmm.
But then the other part of that conversation for those folks is that, are there any other additional funds that's going to be required for you to actually get connected to it? So that's to build the infrastructure. So you get the 12 million, that's to build it, to get the pipes to the area. Now the customer's responsibility is to get plumbing from their home to tap into the system. And that's and I don't care where you go, that's gonna cost you a few $1,000s to get that done. And it depends on how far you are from that line. If your house, like in most rural areas, is not on the street, they're off. Now you're gonna have to put in a grinder pump and everything to get your sewer to the line. So that should have been a part of, and hopefully it was. And there may be some other unforeseen costs. But just 12 million is not going to get you from flushing to the system. Bottom line.
And so, you said that you guys had a section about truckers, about the trucker situation. What was
so
what
part
is
of that
the ongoing debate with the truckers?
So again, the law right now, and that's the law, it's a state law that has the signs up, just like speeding signs. They have through routes, bypass routes to get around the city. And the reason for that is that the place is not, the small town is not designed, whether it's infrastructure, the water, the lines that are under it, or the weight capacity to withstand heavy trucks with 90,000 pounds coming through repeatedly. So it's not just the bad pipes under there that's causing a lot of the pothole or, just the deteriorating roads. It's heavy trucks over time. And so, the PD has been enforcing that for good reason. We've had poles clipped by turning too sharp. And again, it's just not designed to be, for turning to come down like beach. I've seen that myself, knocking over power box and those kind of things, and then disrupting or vibrating those old rusted water lines. All that's happening. So So what we wanted to do last night is to show him some of the results of that. And so we brought some pictures in to show what's actually going on right now. You know, a couple blocks down from Town Hall, there's an patch area where we just had to work on. Well, there was an old service line to a house that rusted, and it doesn't, you know, that's a lot of pressure coming out of that. So over time, that thing had washed the road out.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have a hollow, you know, no foundation under this pavement, at some point in time, this thing is going to collapse. When you get that heavy truck at that breaking point, and if that truck is coming through at 30, 40 miles an hour, whatever the case may be, or a car, whatever it is, when that thing breaks, imagine what will happen when you lose control of a vehicle that's in a residential area, because we have all of our roads, people living along the road. So we're trying to prevent that and show them why we can't allow truck after truck to come through. Now we
have you guys as it, and I mean, I don't know. Have you reached out to the major companies, to like the bigger companies, you know, or to the drivers individually, or how does that? How
yeah, they've
that...
had, you know, anytime they're stop talk to the police officer that pulled them, they have this conversation. I know there was at one point the major had coordinated with a couple of companies to have a meeting so they can have this conversation, and no one showed. Now we will always hear from, you know, the individuals or from said company who may have had one of his trucks stop, and that's not how it's done. We got to come to the table. We can talk about.
You mean you hear from them when it's time to pay in court?
Yeah, and listen, my heart goes out to them, because most of these tickets comes with losing points, and that's detrimental to a trucker. Yeah.
And
that's known.
But it's the rules, though. I mean, that comes with anything. Like it's rules involved with it.
It is, and if we allow it to happen, so we turn a blind eye, an accident happen, God forbid, people get hurt. That's on us, because we're responsible for public safety inside of the city limits of Andrews. So, you know, and one driver told the officer that they come through Andrews to avoid running into DOT at the bypass. I appreciate your honesty, but that is not a reason to do that. You have to. This is a true conversation, and you can't ask the law enforcement or me to say, hey, please just turn your eye and let me come through. I can't do that for all the reasons we talked about. So, and the bypass is, you know, a mile or so up the road that takes you around the city. And you can't, I mean, power lines have been, you know, torn down, but nobody's responsible for that but the town when it happens, because the driver, I mean, we have never had an incident or anyone stop and say, hey, I'm the guy or young lady who clipped the pole. You know, I'm the one who tore down that power line. I'm the one who destroyed that power box. Now the signals on Main Street are not working. No one has stopped to accept that responsibility.
Well, they'll call you to see what you can do. See if you can talk. If you can talk to somebody.
Yeah, and I hope you understand that. You know, again, for me to get involved in that, once you now have a ticket, that is really obstructing the justice, and that's
call your lawyer. That's who you need to be calling. Call your lawyer.
Yeah, you're right, Miss. You know, there's no EMS service when these things happen, or not ready available. I shouldn't say no. There's some around. It's going to take a minute to get here.
I'm wondering if this is a concern, given the fact that you're going to have 2,000 students coming in, right, just sitting, you know, in your town outside, right, just outside of your town here in the next in the next week or so.
Well, it has been a concern since they relocated the ambulance, and you see now where there was a report a couple of weeks ago about the lack of trainers in the school now to provide that.
I saw that, man. Yeah. I saw they've been operating. So, and I wanted to do an interview with Andrews High's trainer last year, and I still think we can make that up. But he had to clear it with Tidelands, you know, because there are HIPAA laws, of course, you know. But yeah, I thought that was crazy. And we're in football season. Scrimmages start in a couple of days.
Yes.
But go ahead.
Yeah.
Break that down a little bit more for people that haven't heard, that hadn't read that article.
So it's an article, I think it's through the Post and Courier, I believe it was, where the coaches from the school when Carvers Bay and down in Waccamaw, I think it was Carvers Bay, maybe, and forgive me if I'm, but the schools are in Georgetown County, and I know one was Waccamaw, and so they haven't had a trainer, so they had gone out to hire someone, I think, as a contract to do that. And this is a guy who's been doing the medical stuff for 40 years, but he's worn out because he's being moved around, and it's where it's just not enough to cover all the sports. And you should have a trainer available, especially when you're talking about these contact sports. So imagine that, no trainer on board. If an ambulance is not on site, which is usually not, when you and I paid back, back when we were playing with the leather helmets, we had the ambulance at the field. And so something happened, the ambulance was right there to respond. That's not the case anymore.
And here's the article right here. It's in the let's see what we got here. Let's bring this up here. Let's close this down. Let's present, share screen. Bingo. Bongo. And yeah, man, that is last year had the same kind of thing happen when we had one of our top players got injured right before the playoffs.
Yeah, he got stunned pretty good. And
no EMS on the thing. We're not the glorified water boy trainer shortage impacting what? Georgetown County. That's a quote, I guess.
Yes.
All right. Athletic trainers, are a vital part of player safety. With roughly a month to go, and this article was from back in July 19th, like you said, a couple weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
With roughly a month to go for fall sports season, Georgetown County School District is still searching for full-time athletic trainers for Waccamaw and Carvers Bay High. Georgetown County School District currently has an agreement with Tidelands Health to provide trainers. And that sounds like a great program to get kids trained up in high school. Some of these athletes that want to get into this type of stuff, and by the time they get out of high school, have them certified, ready to, ready to go. There you go. I just solved the damn problem right there. The
recruitment effort.
They also participate in that cost operations. Yeah, I mean, I'll read this article in a minute, but that's bananas,
Yeah, so that is a again, we talk about first responding. Yeah, that is a problem still.
Yeah, we got our jackets about to, again, I think on the 6th. That's that date, right? August 6th.
I think it's August 6th. We have a scrimmage at Andrews High School.
Yeah. Got to get out there and see the, that's my, oh man, can't wait.
It's that season again.
Yes, sir.
Of course, it's a new schedule and all that business, but yeah, looking forward to it. Those outstanding sophomores and juniors, I think is going to have a big season. So, but we need to get this medical thing figured out for these kids. And I think and which kind of segue into Williamsburg County having a job fair that I think started. Did it start today?
Starts tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Where is this flyer? It is right here. Yep. Starts tomorrow. And and a part of that are these jobs right here. The Williamsburg County is currently hiring full-time Paramedic ship supervisor, $61,915. Paramedic crew chiefs, $58,000. Paramedic crew chief, $58,377. Advanced EMT, $50,000. I mean, at the bottom end, they starting at $45,000. So there's a lot of high school kids who decided that they did not want to go to college. I would encourage those of you who are watching who know some of these kids that have graduated. They don't have to be your family member, or if it is your family member, please encourage them to get out to Williamsburg County tomorrow. And let me find the address here for this thing. Oh, Williamsburg County Recreation and Recovery Center, 2084 Thurgood Marshall Highway, Kingstree, South Carolina, 29556. What do we have here? That's a new the new whips.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, where did they find the money for that? But they don't have no new EMS. I guess that's where he's spending that $1 million he got from you guys is because there was an article a couple weeks ago too about a bunch of citizens whose taxes were like $1,000 more than it was the previous year, and they
in the county.
right,
I mean, here in
the
Georgetown County.
in Georgetown County, yeah, taxes went insane.
Well, I think that's and again, if we come to these meetings, that should not be a surprise.
No,
I don't know if that is. I think the increase will not be recognized until this upcoming tax period, I believe. I think that's how that works. Or am I a year behind when they?
I think you're a year behind. Well,
okay,
I don't
so
know.
they're seeing the effects of
specialists.
Yeah, so I think they're seeing the increase from last year's tax or millage increase, which doubled
increase.
And so, right, and so then, and again, back to what we were talking about earlier. We have to stay engaged all the time. You got to take the time if it's important to you and it has an impact on you think it's an impact your household. It's better to be aware as these things develop. So we won't be surprised. You can plan for those things because I don't care where you go in the United States, tax is going to have to be increased. The cost of doing business, inflation, all that changes. So it's going to happen. So I don't knock them for that. We have to do the same thing here at our level. But to be surprised by it, have to take some responsibility.
That falls solely on the citizen. I mean, that falls. The majority of it, it's not 100%, but the majority of it falls on the citizen because, like I said, you could. I mean, if you're watching Welcome to Angels the podcast, continue to watch with a watch and you because we'll cover it. We covered when the sheriff, and I'm not going to say the late sheriff's name, but when Sheriff Carter Weaver had I call it the smackdown. He put the smackdown on the council. He laid it down and he got what he wanted. And the result of him getting what he wanted equaled a doubling of the millage rate in Georgetown County. And that's just what happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And so those of you, when you mentioned that someone was complaining about the increase, this is the impact of that. Now to this local option sales tax, 71% of those dollars go back to the taxpayers to offset this bump. So it's, you kind of get it back. So again, it is.
Wait. So the local option sales tax. So they're going to take the money from the people. They're going to take the money from the people, right? And then 71% of that money they're gonna give it back to them.
Would it be distributed to all of the? Yeah. Now, of course, sales tax money. That's for all purchases. So it's not just tourists and everybody come through that kind of all pays into it. But that percentage goes back, and I don't know the breakdown.
But 71% go back, supposedly go to it's spread out amongst the county.
Yeah,
equally, we'll assume.
Yes, if you own property, you will get it. If you pay taxes on property, you'll get it. You'll get a percentage of that back. Not all of it. So you got to watch the numbers.
And will they give it a percentage back, or will they just say we're going to take that off? This will cover that.
It'll be a reduction of your overall.
Yeah. Hey, I gotta get into tax collection. Golly. So hold on now. Hold on. So all right. So and just so you guys know, it's called the local option sales tax, the loss tax, right? And it's supposed to help the citizens offset a tax increase. So they're using a tax increase to offset a tax increase. Okay. This is what's happening, right? So you're saying they're taking 71% and giving it back to the people. So let's see, let me remember the 9%. Where does the 29% go?
Well, except for the county use.
Oh man. Oh my goodness.
And now keep in mind again, that we pay taxes. We have to, cover those costs that, to cover those services and the conveniences that we get.
But that tax is not for no service. That's that tax, and this is me speaking right now. That tax is to build a kitty for the county, right? Off the people. Okay, because to me now, I don't understand. I ain't that complicated. But you raising taxes on one end, and then you saying you helping me by raising it on the other end too. But then you gonna give it back. You ain't giving it back to me. You'll say, and then you get to keep the. It just seems like a bad deal. And then you got that, and then you're talking about the penny sales tax. So you're talking about 2 additional pennies on everything you buy.
The majority of the things you buy. Some products are exempt,
like food and
I think it's some medicine, that kind of business. So there's a list, and so here's what I would say too. Just like we're having this conversation, and we don't have all of the particulars. I will say this. Credit of the county, people will be coming around and having community forums with the experts that that are behind the scene doing this thing, and they'll come out and explain it to them, all the details. So again, hopefully this sparks your interest in knowing what's coming, what you're going to see during the election period. And again, it's not just about the president.
So let's don't get there checking.
This is what's going to impact your pocket. So you could potentially see sales tax increase from 6% to 8%. And as Mr. Richardson just explained, one of those pennies will go to the capital project sales tax, and the other will go to local option sales tax.
And
come out and listen to them. Pay attention. They have the app where you can get all of this information and the alerts on when the county will be doing that. And they are doing their due diligence to inform the people. And I'm not, my comments not to be disparaging, but it's to let you know that even we have to stay tuned to it. But this impacts each individual property owner. Mm-hmm. So you should have an interest to come out and listen to it or do some research. And that's the conversation.
Because again, and like with the capital project, the penny sales tax, I think it's a great thing. I think it's learning about it and but I've seen just through research how Columbia, for one example, they collected like $1 billion. They collected $1 billion.
Who's that?
And
Yeah,
Columbia, South Carolina.
Richland, it's just Richland County.
Just Richland County.
Yeah,
And got in a lot of trouble behind it too.
Yeah, because it was mismanaged.
Yep. They paid a firm like $60 million to manage the money.
Yeah, and again, that was not a part of what was voted on, and it's very clear. The guidelines are clear. These are the things, and here's where this money should go in said priority, and it just didn't follow it. And they have more resources up there to deal with these type of situations than we have. So ours get prolonged 3 years, approaching 3 years, and these guys, it happened. They took swift action and held the county council responsible for that.
And I tell you though, if anybody's interested, and there's going to be a documentary coming out here, July, August, the end of August, about the town hall in Andrews, South Carolina, about how we got to where we are. It's going to be a timeline. It's going to be from the beginning to where we are right now. And if you take that information that we're going to put out, and it's not going to be opinion. It's all going to be factual. It's all going to be, here's what is this, that, it's not opinion. But if you follow that timeline and then you go and look at how they conducted business this time around, you see, man, it was night and day. Like the way they collected that money and mismanaged that money in 2014, allegedly.
And we should. That was one of the documents, one of the handouts last night. So they got that very detailed, all actions taken by.
Well, we're gonna take that and put it to video, and you're gonna see when you're gonna see the these different things or whatever. So yeah, it's looking forward to putting that together and getting that out, because I think that's going to be a big part of people just, again, paying attention. Don't go in that booth blinded by what's going on in DC. That's going to happen. Just know you can walk away with things looking very different in Georgetown County if you're not paying attention.
And again, it's a county that has the potential to be, I think, one of the most attractive counties in the state. If we can just come together and get beyond some of these things that are holding us back, and it's really impacting the people.
Well, it's it impacts the people, man. Again, when I don't know, I just got to just keep plugging away at it. I don't know how to make it more entertaining. I'll try and figure it out. But when you got more people following a Facebook breakup, like there's a disconnect, man. Where you say there's a disconnect in communication. I feel you, but and what's important and what's not important, and I mean. And people are watching this stuff. You feel what I'm saying? Like you said, companies are watching this stuff. They got people that just watch social media and just say, man, listen, that area is constantly this going on in that area. I don't even think we should invest in that area. I don't think we should invest in this area or whatever, man.
And theoretically, that will. If I'm a business owner and I'm looking for a place to go, or if I'm moving, relocating. People do the research, but I would tell you we've been blessed, that even with all that's going on, or not, just these opinions, we are still moving forward. I will tell you, there's about a block of property, 2 blocks at this point, has been purchased now for development on Main Street. That just happened here these last couple of weeks. So that area where they had that major fire, that's now under new ownership. and the developer
Oh,
now.
so without me saying too much or you saying too much, because I don't know, but I'm assuming at this point right here, them folks got it.
Yes. No. No. That's the third one. So
Golly.
people we were talking about, they've purchased that. So that's going to be a major impact, economic impact, and jobs. That's there. That's happened. So that's in place, and I'm waiting, again, to get to go ahead to talk about that. But this is in addition to that. There's the block, 2 blocks on Main Street. Like I said, the one up on that was once owned by the Blakeleys. That's now been purchased and confirmed. And so they're going through, I guess, how they're going to develop and shape that block. That's right across from the party shop. And then you move down to the beach area across there. That property has been purchased, and they're under, the owners of that are going through the discussion on what they're going to what they're going to become, and that's major. So that fits in again. I say again, it is a blessing because with all this happening, people still see through. Business owners do their research.
This is money, people, but that's what I'm saying, Mayor, is that that's why I'm still engaged. I see what's going on. You feel me? And it's just like the people, a lot of the folks watching this thing right here gonna wake up one day and be like, what happened? And you're in the middle of this thing happening, and just not being engaged is
yeah. And so there was a couple that came in yesterday, were asking questions about a tap. Well, I invited them into the office to talk to them. I think the ladies at the front was busy, so I said I'll entertain them. Well, they just purchased 2 parcels. They're all the way from Tennessee. So the husband was telling me, he said, yeah, he's actually a first responder, so he's there. He just, I guess, because they would visit Folly Beach or someplace here in Charleston, in that area. And now that all the kids are gone, they say, hey, we enjoy this part of the country. We want to be there, so let's go ahead and make an investment. And it was Andrew. So this auction, these people bought this thing, and now they're here getting it all prepped to build a house there.
State paper article 20 by 2042. Mm-hmm. South Carolina is going to grow by another 1 million residents.
It's starting to burst at the seam, and so so again, to your point, where yes, if a part of your research, your analysis is putting a lot of stock into what opinions are on Facebook, then you won't go anywhere. But if you do the market analysis and you look at all those things that generate revenue, you look at the unmet needs in said town or city, and you're like, hey, we're going to go here. And that's been happening. I'm talking to well over 30 businesses. So people are paying attention. They're looking through the fog of
that's what corporate America does. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm talking about the mom and pops, the locals who just caught up in the fog and not, can't see the forest for the trees.
And the other thing we shared with them is, these the code enforcement that's been very effective over the last couple of years has been responsible now for over a dozen plus dilapidated buildings coming down. We see as shout out to the Barron-O's, that old service station is being cleaned up. I don't know if you've seen it, but
no,
man, yeah, it is. They have more work to do, but they have made a significant cleanup effort at this point in time. They will continue to do that. And so it just takes, once people realize, I think that once they realize that we're doing this for things that we have to enforce is to improve the quality of life here in the town and to make it more attractive. And that's all it is. And people starting to understand that and kind of getting in line to do those things. It just can't be just about a big parade here and there and that kind of. No, we're more than that. We have a beautiful town to
grow.
Do, but yes, and it's happening.
Yep. Look, state as a whole is expected to gain about 1 million residents by 2042.
Wow, that's a lot.
That's
you, you know,
19%.
yeah. Where do they go? Where do these people go? And they want to be close to the beach.
Horry County full.
Yeah.
And you see, you almost right now when you come out of Jamestown, you almost start running into new developments.
Yep. In fact, this couple mentioned that because again, coming from Charleston and other places, they are starting to see. They said, "Well, Andrews is much like where they're coming from."
Right? Yeah. They listen,
they don't have the beach.
The jig is up. Okay, the secret's up. They know. Oh, we get here logistically. Oh man, you know what I mean? We're gonna catch everything, and then you got this happening. So, yeah,
and they said those things. It's like, hey, we don't want to be in the middle of it. We just want to be able to get there and enjoy the beach, or go to Charleston or Columbia, and enjoy those things now. As we, as people that are getting up in age, and they're much younger than I am, but their kids are all gone, and so. So that is always going to be an appeal for people, and so we just need to be prepared to receive them.
All right. Hey, listen. You sent me this thing right here. Hold on a second. I didn't share it because I couldn't see it. So what do we have here?
That's Congressman Fry's mobile office will be in town tomorrow. That's Congressman Russell Fry.
What time? What time would that be?
They're from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Okay.
Here at 30 East Main Street in Andrews. Yeah, so it's an opportunity to come by and especially for our veterans. And again, I'm a part of his team to try to get these resources and take care of our veterans a little bit better. So please come out and talk to the team. And I'm not sure whether he will be on site. I haven't spoken with him yet, but definitely. His staff will be here during that time period tomorrow.
No doubt. I met Mr. Fry last time he came. Relatively young fella. Young fella, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, he is.
New to Congress, but like you said, he's big on helping the veterans. Come from a family of people that served, and yeah. It's always good thing. I'll be going to. I got an appointment at the VA on the 5th.
Okay, so you're making that move.
Yeah. Ain't no need to even play around with that.
Yeah, the benefits are good. So I need to make an appointment myself. But yeah, so come out and see Congressman Fry's team, and again. This is party-in material. It is. He's coming here to help the people, and so let's move beyond those kind of things, those barriers that we put in front of ourselves, and come on out and see what his team has to say. And he may answer some questions that you may be inquiring at the national level. Never know.
No doubt. So make your way on out there, man. Andrews has definitely always been it's a place where the candidates come, man. It was the kickoff for the DNC. Fry's there. I remember who you had. Tulsi Gabbard came through. What's the guy named from New York?
New York mayor, that was de Blasio.
De Blasio, yeah.
Blasio was there. And I think it's Senator, was it Bernie? Bernie was on his way. He was in Charleston, but I think it got nailed and did not make the trip. But and candidates for this upcoming election was here as well. Mel Hyman, of course, Senator Saab was here and come through, and yeah, so it's a place, and so then that lets us know that we are on their conscience to some degree. They see us being important, even the small towns, and that's encouraging. And we keep this open line of communication, whether you're Democrat or Republican. If you're going to do something to help the town of Andrews, I'm going to listen in.
Well, I mean, the town of Andrews is nonpartisan, so in good keeping with that puts you in a position to open for business if because that's I think that's a good way to be.
Yeah, we don't want to, because we don't want to get caught up in this party thing and then, miss out on opportunities to help again advance the things that we've laid out that's important to the town. You don't want to do that. I think they say back in the day, cut your nose off to spite your face, whatever that means. We're not going to do that. We're not going to get caught up in that. So, because it is getting ugly and interesting, I should say, at that level.
No doubt. So, what else you got coming up for the town here?
And we have back to school complimentary. I don't want to say giveaway, but complimentary school supplies for the kids. That's on Friday. This coming Friday.
Okay. Where's that? That's going to be at the Ace, out of the Ace?
At the Ace. And it should be I don't know why I don't have the flyer. It should be a flyer.
Let me see if I can find that real fast. It should be on Town Hall page.
Yes, it is.
All right. Let me see if I can get that loaded up here real fast. This coming Friday. And they start school when down there?
I think it's this week, I believe. If I'm not mistaken. It may be tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Maybe tomorrow. Let me check. Yeah, so there's the town of Andrews. So from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. is the and see, I went to the app right there on your phone. Go to the app and you have
there you go. My bad. I got that app on there. I forgot about that. There you go. Yeah. See, that's how that go. Go to the app. There it is right there.
At your fingertip.
Yep. So, right there. Boom. Awesome. Let me pull this off here. So all you smart parents, which all of you are smart. Let me stop that. But yeah, you need to hit as many of these things and get enough supplies for the year. And then that's when you get that list, you know what I mean? You'll have a nice big chunk of that already knocked off because,
And I think with Ms. Peggy Cumbie, I think is going to donate some other things that may not be supplies, but things that kids would be useful for families. I think that'll be there also. We're also accepting donations of any other items. If you want to come in and bring your supplies, and we'll just make it a joint effort if you want to. And on the 20,
okay, and
go ahead.
The YMCA is operational, right?
Yes.
What's the name of the director there? I need to get him on.
Mr. Brian Gary.
Okay.
And I know he moves about.
Hold on. All right, go.
You got your double feed on there. See you twice. Yeah. There you go. So yes, I don't have his. I have his personal. I don't have his director's number. But get in touch with him. And in fact, the program has already kicked off. On the 24th of this month of August, YMCA will have its big grand opening. We'll have the block between the gazebo, so that's Rosemary and Morgan, close off for that activity. They'll have some of the same things you will see at the festival, live music, games for the kids, and that is to drive. Yes, there you go, and that is to drive. The interest and information out for the YMCA. So I invite everyone to come out and be a part of that. I think they will have bouncy house, so it'll be a small little have that festival appearance. But speaking of that, November 1st is the homecoming, and November 2nd will be the Andrews Heritage Festival. And the Andrews Veterans Parade on the 2nd. So we got to deconflict that. Just learned of that a couple of days ago. And they typically have theirs on the first week of November, the Veterans Parade. And of course, we've now joined the festival along with homecoming. So a lot of things will be happening on November 1st and 2nd. So
whoa, wait a minute. You guys gonna have ice cream at the back to school thing too?
Possibly, I think they'll be checking the supplies. We've done that twice. Great turnout, I'm told.
Okay.
Last time I was out of town, but that's possible. So if
Okay.
that is, then we'll add that to. Yeah, there it is. Cool down with some ice cream.
Yeah.
So it's gonna. Yeah, this is taking this to another level. But the turnout last time we did this was very good. And again, this is things just again opportunities to get our kids together, do a little something for them, and show them that we definitely know they're out there and want to show them some love. And so that's what these things are all about.
And guys, you can see in the top left corner of this flyer, that's the Andrews app symbol. I mean, that's the picture that you'll see on there. Up there in the top left corner of this flyer here. Definitely want to download that. Go to your your Android or your iOS app store. Pull that down. But yeah, I forgot about it. I should have had that already. But you know what I was looking at? Somebody else. They everybody using that same template.
Oh wow. That's
Everybody's using the same template.
yeah. So check the heading on those things so you won't miss out. This is a third annual for the community. Who's
Back
this?
to back. That's so Friday is Andrews, Saturday is Bloomingville. Is this Bloomingville?
No, it looks like
Oh wow, man. See, I'm about to send people to Bloomingville.
maybe it is. I don't know.
Oh, this is Salters. Okay, this
Salters.
is 197 Eva Loop in Salters, South Carolina.
Yep.
And that's on Saturday from 2 to 4. So yeah. Back to school giveaways get and I think they got one in King Street. I don't have that.
And there may be some of our churches that are doing the same. I haven't seen the any flyers on those, but I'm sure they're out there. So just take it, and that's what it's all about. And that's what community does: is come together and support families as best we can. So take advantage of it.
No doubt, no doubt. Yeah. So, yeah, man, that's about what I got for this Tuesday.
Yes, sir.
Anything I missed? Anything you want to add there?
No, that's it.
I just wanted to ask: has there been any I just want to remind the people to make the phone calls down to the district office, Georgetown County School District Office. There are your representatives' number, okay? Because there's a big decision coming up here with the school district. They haven't released the names of those candidates, or did I miss that?
I have not seen anything. So, and we're only interested in Dr. Bethany Giles. So she's the right person for this. So we want to definitely get behind her and let the district leadership, those decision makers, know that Dr. Giles is our person to lead the school district.
No doubt. No doubt.
No, other than that, I'm gonna break from here. Going to check out some of the Olympics.
Oh man, that's another conversation, man.
What's got under your craw there? What's going on?
That opening ceremony, that was some evil stuff.
I didn't see it.
I'm gonna send it to you, and we're gonna do a breakdown on it, and I'm gonna tell you how this Olympics is the symbolism of the destruction of Christianity in America. I know I just went real deep there.
That's deep.
They mocked the picture, Da Vinci's picture, the Last Supper. They mocked it with with the LGBT whole thing. They did a mock. I mean, it was symbolic.
So then we probably should have.
And Snoop now, apparently, so all the garbage I'm trying to tell these stay away from the gangs and the drugs and all that. Man, please, if Snoop can be there, I could be. Snoop didn't be the murder charge. Snoop All this and now he carrying the torch. Muhammad Ali carried the torch. Now we got Snoop Doggy Dogg carrying the torch.
From the dog pound.
From the dog, from the LBC.
Crip walking Snoop.
Crip walking.
Jive talking.
I say, man, what is going on, man? Like, man. I mean,
well, we're gonna have a theologian, someone that understands the depth of what because I can't speak to it.
I'm gonna find somebody who
I'm not studying theology.
who because that is I'm watching it. I'm like, what is this? Is this what I'm watching? And now, don't get me wrong. Now, I don't put I'm not an idol worshiper. In other words, I don't worship the picture of the Last Supper. You feel what I'm saying? I don't worship it, but I understand what their messaging is in it, and it's mocking it. You know what I mean? And so, it. Man, just the whole person that did it, the person that designed it. It was just, and then Snoop's necklace. He's got a necklace with the Baphomet on it. Like, what is going on here? And they ain't even hiding it right now. This is like, what? And so my conspiracy theory head was just blown off. I don't even watch Super Bowl shows now because they're all symbolic rituals, and
you think it's a message behind all of that, huh?
They just play it out in front of the people. Listen to the music, man. It's demonic. The kids now, the rappers, they call themselves demons.
Wow. And that's unfortunate because, a lot of folks out here have been working hard to make it to the Olympics, and then for these type of things to be a distraction is unfortunate for those folks that are out there competing. You see the U.S. gymnastic men's team, the first
Here's how deep it is. Mm-hmm. You know who started organized sports in the United States? You know who in the world? Forget the United States. You know who started organized sports in the world?
Who's that?
The YMCA, the Young Men's Christian. That's who started. They started organized sports 50 years before the Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
So without the Christians starting that, you know what I mean? Like, I'm getting religious now. Like, I'm, you know what I mean?
I see a shift in Mr. Richardson.
Yeah,
that's a good thing. We're supposed to learn, grow, and develop.
You ain't got to worry though. I won't be preaching though. I promise you that I ain't gonna be preaching now unless I get the call. Let me see. Let me check my phone. Hold on a second.
I don't think that's how you're gonna get it. As long as you don't appoint yourself.
Hey, that won't happen. You can bet that. Nah, I can do a lot of crazy things, but I'm not playing with no. Nah.
You ain't playing with God, huh?
Nah, I ain't got that kind of heart. I'm sorry. I ain't built like that.
That's not a winning.
No.
Plan right there at all. So.
No doubt.
No, but
anyway,
that's
man.
all I have,
listen. Yeah, man. Listen.
Appreciate it. Hey, those
guys,
panels are working out well.
Say again.
Panels that you all install in the ACE.
Okay, it's helping.
Yeah,
he's got to get the other ones, and I don't think he's gonna be able to get them in by in the morning. If he's watching now, he'll probably try. But yeah. And when you get some bodies in there, it's gonna help also.
Yeah. So that I went in this afternoon. They're probably going back in there tonight to make sure the place is set and ready to go for that mobile team tomorrow. But yeah, that's what's happening.
That's what's up. If you're able to go live from there, we can stream it.
Okay.
Yep, we'll be able to stream it.
All right, sounds like a winner.
Yeah, all right, so appreciate you. All right, guys, y'all know what it is. You know what to do. Hit that like button, hit that notification bell. I do appreciate you guys' time. This is Real Talk Tuesday, and I am out.